Year 24-year-old Damian Myers was charged with beating his 3-year-old stepson, encouraging him to fight. Today at the Penobscot County Judicial Center, Myers was sentenced to 6 years behind bars. Emotions ran high as families from both parties sat in the courtroom. Tears and disbelief filled the room as evidence was presented, including a video showing the assault. Myers pleaded guilty to aggravated domestic violence assault, assault on a child less than 6 years old, and domestic violence reckless conduct. Statements were made by Myers' mother, the nurse who detected the abuse, and Myers himself. He apologized to the boy and his family. Assistant District Attorney Chelsea Lynn said she's satisfied with the sentence. She said if it wasn't for the team of medical experts, along with law enforcement, continuing to investigate the situation, the courtroom could have been looking at a different result.
They really went the extra mile, got the evidence, and it paid off. They found this video. I honestly think that they saved a child's life in this case. I mean, if they had not found that video, then I think there is a very high probability that the child would be dead already.
Initially, the mother of the child presumed his injuries were a rash. Medical experts realized the marks on the child were bruises from a beating, which led to the investigation. That led investigators to analyze video camera footage from the home, which showed Myers beating the child during a 14-minute time frame.